Government agencies, like all enterprises, are working hard to secure increasingly dynamic and highly distributed IT environments. For officials responsible for securing government agency IT systems and data, the job of defending today's dynamic perimeter has also become increasingly complex. I'm Billy Mitchell with Scoop News Group, and here to talk about how government agencies are keeping up with those challenges is Aaron Bishop, Chief Information Security Officer at the Department of the Air Force. Aaron, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, Aaron, how is the Air Force's evolution towards a multi-cloud network environment shifting your view about the role of firewalls and perimeter defense?
Great question. It kind of aligns with what's going on in not only cloud, but zero trust architectures as well. Um, Firewalls and packet inspection is a key aspect to layers in defense, but it is no longer the bastion protection of a perimeter. Where is a boundary is now the question of the hour. Is it the network I control? Is it the cloud instance that I control? Is it the application I control? The reality is it's all of these plus where the data is. And so as we start thinking through what is a firewall, what is our perimeter, I challenge all of my authorizing officials to look at where's the boundary I'm trying to protect and when the data that I am protecting within it. If I need to move that data, I need to understand where that protections go with that data. And so therein lies the change in the evolution of the firewalls and perimeter defense thoughts.
Thinking about that increased volume of traffic with all of that data and the movement of that data, what about the need to encrypt and decrypt traffic and how you're reshaping your view of what modern firewalls might need to accomplish with that in mind?
Great question. Encryption is a huge challenge for everyone. And obviously, with an organization at my scale, it's a massive problem as well. Encrypting traffic is key for confidentiality and being able to say, I've got the data protected while in transit, as well as encryption at rest. But the issue then becomes as I'm moving that data around, does the encryption go with it? Do I encrypt between the two? And is that sufficient, aka a tunnel, a VPN, or something along those lines? Or is it something that I need to worry about from a perspective of is it just random encryption that's used in a particular application or software package, or do I need to build custom in a hardened encryption? And then there's the final thing we think about, which is um, if it's encryption we provided, that's a good thing. But if it's encryption someone else provides, is that a good thing? Is that nefarious or is it just unknown? And so now we have to inventory all our encryption and understand, is it ours or is it someone else's and for what purposes? So there's a lot that we have to worry about from a firewall inspection and from just an inventory and accountability perspective.
Where are you seeing your infrastructure and security modernization efforts paying off with maybe a stronger or more dynamic perimeter?
So I think everyone understands that we've got a huge environment. It has lots of technology deployed, and during the life cycle of technology, you've got to upgrade and maintain and patch, as well as replace, outdated technology. And in doing so, we're trying to leverage our normal cycle plus a heightened focus on software-defined WANs and networking, extending that networking in order to figure out, where do we need to continue to invest. Now, for us, think of it this way. The Department of the Air Force has over 150 little cities around the world we operate. It has a hospital, it has an airport, it has everything around it from a security perspective, including communication utilities. And being able to update that infrastructure is great, but as a warfighting mission, I also have to extend that capability beyond that base. So now my networks have to go into expeditionary communications and extended aerial networks, et cetera. Now I need to understand where is that perimeter? Where do I protect it? Where do I pass it on to the next environment that may or may not be there today or tomorrow?
Very interesting. Aaron, as we close out, zero trust is obviously a topic that is very important to many right now. And I'm curious how government zero trust objectives, particularly around network environments, are reshaping the Air Force's top security priorities for the coming year.
So as I've said, as you think of the technology refresh, you think about the focused objectives on being able to control the networks not only locally but also as we extend them. Those are the characteristics of our zero trust implementation plan that we're focused on. There are many parts to zero trust, and zero trust isn't a thing. It's the operational paradigm of what we do with different layers of the stack, whether it's data and data tagging, whether it's ICAM and access control, whether it's software defined networking, so we know who's on the network and what are those attributes, how do we push them out. For us in the network environments, we're really spending our energies on our environments that are not only local, but then extended to the field. And how do we map, plan, and field all of those capabilities required to do the missions we've been asked to do?
Well, Aaron, thanks so much for spending the time with us today to share the Air Force's security priorities. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.